Republican strategist Rick Davis is with us. He was John McCain's campaign manager in 2008. The senator became the Republican nominee and chose Sarah Palin as his running mate. Rick Davis is not attached to any campaign in this year's race. We're pleased to have him here. Welcome.
Thank you, Charlie.
So what does this do for Donald Trump, and does it do to Ted Cruz?
Well, I think it's a battle for sort of the dwindling Carson vote. I think that we've seen Carson be #1 in Iowa and now slip to #3, maybe 4. And I think that extra sort of 8 to 10% that he's sitting on, both Trump and Cruz look at that like a dog salivating over a good meaty bone. And so they want to get those people who are coming off of Carson onto their ballot. And that's why the focus on evangelicals. I think that what we saw yesterday between the visits to Liberty University and the Jerry Falwell nice things that he said about Donald Trump to the Sarah Palin announcement was a real targeted effort to try and speak to evangelicals without having to talk the talk. He's walking the walk.
Is there a downside for him in selecting in Sarah Palin endorsing him?
Not in Iowa. I think in everywhere else in the country, you know, people are scratching their head when they wake up this morning and saying, what is he thinking? But, you know, I think he's made a bet that if he can win Iowa, he has a shot at sweeping the whole
running the table.
Running the table.
Mm-hmm. Do you think that this ends up being a contested battle at the convention?
Yeah, I honestly, you know, spent a lot of time looking at the delegates and who's sort of positioned in these various states. And there are 3 major segments of the Republican Party that are battling it out right now. You know, there's a sort of outsider segment that have landed on Donald Trump and are really happy with what they've got. And that's about 1/3 of the vote. And then there's 1/3 of the vote that are sort of movement conservatives. They sit squarely in there with Ted Cruz. And they're not going anywhere right now. I mean, they're very loyal to Cruz. And then there's the establishment. Mm-hmm. And that's another 1/3 to a little bit more. And they're spread over 5 or 6 candidates. Mm-hmm. And so as that consolidates, and it probably will over the first 3 or 4 states, you've got 3 trains that are running down the track. And if they continue to win at 30-30-30, I don't know how you get to a point where you have one person, you know, with the necessary delegates to be the presumptive nominee.
Not a good day for Ted Cruz yesterday. The governor of Iowa came out against him, and then the headline today is all dominated with Donald Trump.
And Sarah Palin. You win every day or you lose every day in a campaign at this stage, down to the wire. And it was a big win day for Trump and a big lose day for Cruz.
But if Trump pulls off Iowa and then goes to New Hampshire and wins there and then goes to South Carolina, I mean, it could be moving towards the nomination.
Well, in the old schedule, that was the case, right? Because nothing stopped you.
Right.
This time, there's a 2-week period of time right after South Carolina where it's all proportional primaries.
Right.
And everyone sort of gets spread out throughout the South and Southeast. And then what happens is nobody really wins or loses. You just collect delegates.
Right.
And so it is an opportunity to reset the race. And if there is this juggernaut, I think you see a lot of people saying, wow, you know, especially on the establishment side, we have to have someone win Florida, which is the 15th of March, and the next big winner-take-all state. And they're going to rally around either, I think, a Rubio or a Christie or a Bush and say, we got to stop the Trump movement.
It's interesting to watch every single day, Rick Davis.
Every day.
We thank you for coming in today.
Thank you.